I'm Susan Inglett, and we have a gallery in Chelsea at 522 West 24th Street in New York City. And this is our second year at the Untitled Fair. But the two artists we're bringing are Hope Gangloff, who's the painter, and then Beverly Sims, who's the sculptor here on the table. Hope is an artist who's been with us for about a decade now. She went to Cooper Union and lives in Manhattan. And she's painting her friends in the creative community. And so they're artists, they're musicians, there's writers. They're, those kind of folks that have a couple of weeks to sit for a sitting, because they're all done from life and they're all done for the most part in her studio. But what she's doing really is capturing, and I think what people really embrace is that she's capturing a moment in time and also a bohemian sort of lifestyle of the creative community. So if you don't have that life, you wish you did, and I think people really appreciate that youth movement that's represented in her work. Some of the sitters show up at various times, but it's also part of a much larger continuum of portraiture that dates all the way back to the court painters and Goya and to Sargent and to, all the way forward to Alice Neal. And it's interesting to look at references to the Viennese Secessionists, the pre-Raphaelites, but then all bundled up and distinctly a Hope Gangloff painting that's identifiable anywhere. The second artist we brought is Beverly Sims, and she's a more established artist. She's beyond mid-career. She became to people's attention in the 90s with large fabric dresses that can be seen in the Hirshhorn Museum, the Denver Art Museum. She's already had mid-career retrospectives at the Hirshhorn and a number of other major museums. And this body of work was inspired by Cézanne's teacups and an old book that Beverly had, which showed the way that the perspective worked in those paintings. And so that's the reason the teacups are a bit skewed, but it also plays into the hands of Beverly's larger fabric works, which are always sort of awkward and dysfunctional, referencing the female body as the cup does, its vessel and its womb-like structure. But there was also a famous artist named Merritt Oppenheim, who was one of only a couple of surrealist artists that did a piece called The Fur Teacup. And so the pelts that Beverly found in Paris underneath reference Merritt Oppenheim's Fur Teacup, which can be found in the collection of the Museum of Modern Art. The program at the gallery is we're working towards bringing women forward. I feel like that's an opportunity that I have to give more exposure to women artists. And I felt this year was a chance to do that. I've never brought Hope to a fair before because we have a great audience and strong audience for her work at the gallery. But the Untitled Fair and all of these fairs are a wonderful opportunity to get a lot of eyes on your artists, whether it's collectors, museums, curators, press. And we wanted to be able to provide that exposure for Hope to a much larger audience, European galleries, and the same for Beverly. I thought their works had a nice conversation in terms of the domesticity of Hope's work and then playing with that in Beverly's ceramic pieces.